Thank you for tuning in to Love in Your Hands with Cynthia Clark, soulmate palmist, spiritual teacher, love coach, author, and speaker. We're sharing stories of love and connection and lessons learned along the way. This podcast is sponsored by loveinyourhands.com, the place to ignite soulmate love fast using an innovative system to help you end loneliness and toxic relationships and elevate your vibrational energy to soulmate love and deeply compatible partners. Get started for free at loveinyourhands.com. And now here's your host, Cynthia Clark. Hi everyone, how you doing today? This is Cynthia Clark, and I am your soulmate palmist and spiritual teacher. If you're interested in finding long-lasting love, all you need to do is go over to loveinyourhands.com. And today I want to talk about the concept of how many soulmates do we have? Do we have just one soulmate, or do we have many soulmates? And how can we actually identify some things in our very own hands to help us kind of navigate through this love ocean? So I hope you find this really fun. So a lot of people think, I'm looking for that one person. I'm looking for just one person out there. Well, that would be 1 in 7.7 billion people. The odds of finding that person are very small when you think about it that way, that there's just one person out there for you. I would like to propose a different way of thinking about it, because there are actually many different soulmate matches that could be a beautiful relationship for you. So when you look at your hands, as I always do, you can go to the area underneath your little finger, Mercury, and you can identify your affection lines. Okay, so these are little horizontal lines that will just come in off the edge of the hand. Okay, so they're right underneath that little finger. Affection lines will show you how many significant relationships you are having in this lifetime. Most people actually have between 1 and 3 of these lines. Now, I want you to also keep in mind that these lines change over time. So let's say, for example, you don't have an affection line right now. That does not mean you don't have a soulmate match. You absolutely have many soulmate matches. That could simply indicate that you're not ready, or there's something you need to do in order to attract that person. Okay, so this is just a good way to gauge, what's on the board, so to speak, for right now, so that you can make different choices or better choices as you go through your life. So if you're looking for a new relationship, that line could appear when you're ready. So just keep that in mind. But it does show you how many relationships are going to be in your life. But again, they do vary, and they can come and go. Okay, so we don't use it to gauge how many marriages we're going to have, but it's good to just kind of see what's there. Okay, so what makes a person a soulmate match anyway? Like, what does that even mean? Well, you might think of it as somebody you're attracted to, right? Which is true. You're going to have, obviously, you don't fall in love unless you're attracted to a person, but it goes deeper than that. A soulmate match is actually a vibrational energy, it's a resonance where you connect with a person at a deep level. And when souls come into physical bodies, we will often incarnate in a group. And it is with that intention to actually come together. So when we meet a soulmate match, we're going to have a familiarity with that person. And by the way, this does not necessarily mean a romantic relationship either, right? It could be somebody that we could just be really good friends with. They could be even a relative, could be a soulmate match. And we can identify these matches through the hands. And I've created an entire soulmate system where you can tell if this person is at that deeper subconscious level because your hands form their shape by the time you are about 6 years old, and then they stay with you and impact you for the rest of your life. So, and each of the different hand shapes actually needs a different requirement, right? Okay, so it's more than just attraction. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you have a fire hand, you are somebody who is dynamic and outgoing, and you're going to be more of a risk taker, very freedom oriented. So, and you can identify that with short fingers and a long rectangular palm. That's actually my hand shape. So if you have a hand, and it's a common hand shape in both men and women, is the fire hand. So what does a fire hand need in a soulmate? Okay, well, a fire hand needs that energy to be nourished, that energy of activity, that energy of excitement and fun and freedom. So if you get into a relationship that stifles that, that's probably not going to be a soulmate match for a fire person. So the complementary energy would be an air hand because air feeds the fire, right? So we want to look for somebody who's got the air hand shape, which is going to be the long fingers and a square palm. And that air energy is going to nourish the fire energy and vice versa. It's going to be a resonance that can help in the long run, right? Because we're looking for a soulmate match, we're looking for something that's going to last past the attraction stage. Okay, so attraction can vary in how long it lasts, but it's usually quite short, right? We want to go deeper than that initial attraction, and we want to see if there's something that can actually last a long time. Now, if you have a water hand, then what does a water hand need? Well, water hands are long fingers and long palms, and they represent the emotional person. They're adaptable, and they really need somebody who nourishes that energy, right? They need to be in touch with their emotions and their how they express themselves. They tend to be those people who like to observe people and places and things. They've got that sort of intuitive energy about them. So their best match would be earth hands, which would be the short fingers and a square palm. So the earth complements the water because the water, you can think of like rain on the earth, like a scorched earth. That would nourish it, right? So there's a synergistic energy that goes with the elements. So when an earth person comes together with a water person, they have this deep sense of security just naturally comes through, and they're able to bring in that complementary energy. Okay, so this is what we want to look for when we look for a soulmate partner. Now, you may just be interested in finding a date, and that's fine, but that's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about something that's going to be long lasting, it goes deeper, and it has a sustainability so that you can have that affection line actually showing up on your hand, okay? Because that's going to represent a deep connection. Okay, so how else can we see, like, what does a person need in a relationship? Well, we do have, of course, our fingerprints. That's our soul imprint. And our fingerprints are going to show us sort of the flavor that we go through life. And in terms of matching fingerprints with other people, I would take that on a case by case because it gets too complicated. But it is good to know what your fingerprints have to tell you, because they'll show you your particular energy and also what is your soul seeking to achieve. So if you can find a person that complements that, that's really good. For example, my purpose in my fingerprints is located on my left Jupiter finger, my left index finger, and it has to do with living my passions. So my soulmate match has to be open to me living my passions and allowing me to explore what I find interesting and exciting. And of course, I'm a fire hand as well. So I don't work well for other people. I don't work, I'm very independent. I love to travel. That's my energy. And if I had a partner who didn't appreciate and value that, they would not be a good match for me. Luckily, that's not where I'm at, because I'm happily married. So, and I want that for you. That's ultimately what I want for you, is to be able to attract that partner that really fits you. So another thing that you can look at is what we call the non-negotiable needs, and they show up also in the hands, and they're located in the fingers. Okay, so each of the fingers represents a different aspect of yourself. Okay, so we have what's called high set and low set fingers. And when a finger is high set, that's going to show us a need that the person has. When a finger is low set, it's going to show more of a deficiency, or the person feels like they're not getting enough of what it is that that finger is representing. Okay, so if you have what's called a high set index finger or a Jupiter finger, it's going to look like when you look at the fingers. Okay, so I want you just to kind of hold your palm out, look at your palm, hold the fingers together, okay? And I want you to take a look at, is this finger, does it appear to be higher than normal? So, when we think about normal, there would be just a slight rise in the middle and a slight dip on the outside. Okay, so this is kind of how the average would go, right? Okay, so if it's higher than average, then it would be high set. And the middle finger, of course, is going to be higher than the other ones, but we want to look at it as, does it look exceptionally higher? Is it much higher than normal, or what would appear to be normal? Okay, so this is how we determine a high set. Okay, so if your index finger is high set, that means that you need respect. Okay, so in a partner, that's one of the things you're going to be looking for, and you're going to be demanding that. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with having needs. Okay, we all have different needs. If your middle finger, also known as Saturn, is high set, then it means that you need that security. Okay, you need to feel that safety and security with a partner. If your ring finger, we call this one Apollo, is high set, that means you need to be appreciated for what you have to contribute to a partnership. And if your little finger is high set, we call this one Mercury, then it means that you need a lot of intimacy and closeness. Okay, so that's another way to just read your hands and identify what are your needs. And you can take a look at a potential soulmate partner, and you can start to find out, well, does this person respect me? If you have a high set Jupiter, you need to find that out. Does this person respect me? And if they don't, I would say get out of that relationship pretty quickly. But I would also ask you to look at it in terms of, am I respecting myself? Because the lessons are always mirroring back to us, right? So you want to take a look at that and just find out, am I respecting myself in my relationships with others? And that goes to asking about sacred boundaries. Do you let people just walk all over you, or do you, stand up for yourself? Do you sit up straight when you're out to dinner? Pay attention to these things because they really do impact your relationships. And ultimately, if you can find that combination in the hands that would represent that soulmate match, you're one step ahead, and it's going to be really beautiful and long lasting. So, if you are interested in finding love, in learning more about how to resonate with that soulmate partner, that's actually what I help people with, is to change your vibrational energy so that it's easier to attract a partner. I also help people find their soulmate love. I've created an entire dating website, loveinyourhands.com, where you can go and actually upload a digital photo of your palm and you can get matched in the system. And I've got some amazing programs to help you just reach the goals that you have in attracting love into your life. Because, in my opinion, love is worthwhile and life has so much more meaning when it's shared. And it really does help you so much in your soul growth, in your personal growth. I believe more than just doing things on your own. So that's just my opinion, but it's one that I'm sticking to. Okay, so remember that I love you and I wish you nothing but joy and happiness in your life today and every day. And remember to live life with love. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for listening to Love in Your Hands. Please rate, review, and subscribe to show your support. Have a question for Cynthia? Just post a comment. This podcast is sponsored by loveinyourhands.com, the place to find soulmate love fast. Start your free Soul Connection membership today, upload your hand photo, discover your relationship archetype, and start finding soulmate matches. Just go to loveinyourhands.com to get started.